What's going on, everybody? I'm Tyler, and as you may know, I am the musical director for Legends in Concert, which is based out of Las Vegas. However, I am the musical director for the Myrtle Beach location. And we just got finished putting together our spring show, and I just wanted to talk about some of the processes that I go through for rehearsing a group and just getting, overall musical sides of the production ready to go for performances. So we're over here at the computer. I figured we'd take a look at what I got going on over here. So usually the first thing that happens is from Las Vegas, they will send me and anyone on production management this Evernote right here. And as you can see, we've currently got in Reba, and we got Prince, we got the Blues Brothers, Elvis, and we even have Adele. Here's Adele right here. So this is how the files come to me, basically in this Evernote kind of, file session, and it's organized by act. Clearly, here's the Reba act, and then you've got her entire set list front to back, and you've got some useful stuff here. You've got the set list in order. You've got the lengths of the arrangements. You've got some notes. Sometimes songs can be in different keys if we have different Rebas performing, so these notes are helpful for stuff like that. And then right here is basically just the main ref that they want you to listen to. And then in here, this is where we've got all of the rehearsal materials that they send out. And this can have anything from tracks to charts, anything that we might need to get ready for that. So a lot of this can be a little bit confusing to some of my bandmates and singers. So what I do, a large part of what I do, is I actually reorganize all this stuff into a Google Drive. Take you over to that now. All right, this is where all my stuff happens. So I take everything in the Evernote, well, not everything, the useful stuff, the stuff that I need for my rehearsals, and I bring that into my Google Drive, and I organize it in a way that is helpful to my crew. So where I tell my crew to start off, and the big part about being a musical director is getting all of this stuff worked out in the beginning. If you don't spend enough time organizing your materials in the beginning, then you are going to be, going back through stuff. I've done it a couple different ways. I've sent files out I've given it out by thumb drive. I've given it out by physically handing it to people, but this is the best because I upload it once, it goes to everybody, and it's always there. Should they lose it or they need it again, I don't have to dig it up anymore. It's on the drive. Okay, so first thing I like my band, my singers to do is to check out the song references, obviously. If they haven't heard the songs, generally all of these references are going to be of the actual act, so the real Prince, the real Reba playing their songs. In some cases, these are old Legends arrangements, meaning other Legend in concert bands actually performed these arrangements with someone, so they'll send us that arrangement if it's quite different from the original. But this is where I want my group to start. So they listen to these song references just like you would if you're rehearsing for any gig. From there, I've got two folders. If you're a singer, you'll go here. If you're in the band, you'll go here. What these band rehearsal tracks, what these singer rehearsal tracks are, is they are song references lined up with a click. Okay? They're also not just song references lined up with a click, but they might have also the tracks that we're playing to in those tracks. I don't make these band rehearsal tracks or these single rehearsal tracks. I've made some, but they're not always the same. This business has been in production for over 30 years now in over 10 different locations, so there can be a lot of different arrangements. Anyways, song references, then they go to the band rehearsal tracks. I'll show you what this sounds like real fast.
1, 2, 3, 4.
So you can hear the click, you can hear the reference there, and that is really great for rehearsing too. Also, it's obviously critical that our drummer gets to hear these clicks before, we start performing this show so that he can hear the count-ins, he can hear the count-outs. We can all hear that, but it's crucial that the drummer gets that. Okay, cool. So just like the band rehearsal tracks, the singer rehearsal tracks are very similar. I will show you one of these just so you can see that parts are missing and then the singer tracks are very loud. Let's see if we can get to something like that.
3, 4, 1.
Also, all of the track is panned to the left currently. And then exactly. So all of the main reference and the click and all that stuff is to the left, and then the vocals are in the center. So there's 100 ways to do that. That's one of the ways you can do that. I typically, when I make singer tracks, I actually put the band to the right and then the track I want you to sing to the left, specifically so that when you're riding around in the car, because that's where I like to rehearse any of my singing stuff, then you can hear yourself really easily right there to the left what part you're supposed to be singing. Cool. All right, so after they have gone through their rehearsal tracks, the singers or the band rehearsal tracks, final step is this mono click file. I really like to use this as a resource. So for instance, the piano player, our piano player plays obviously piano, organ, strings, horns. He's a synth guy. He's the keys guy. He's playing all that stuff. However, a lot of this stuff, there's all of that. And then when there's all of that, he plays the most important part and then lets the tracks handle the rest. We're a 4-piece band, so he can't play all of it. But I have my keyboard player and my guitar player, because there's sometimes multiple guitar tracks, come to this mono click file so that they can listen to what is being represented in the mono click by tracks. And then they play what's not present. So if we listen to this right here.
3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so what we hear? We heard some pedal steel. Cool. We don't have to cover the pedal steel part. I also heard some horns and a little bit of a rhythm guitar part in there. Okay, so that means that the piano part has to be played by the piano player, and the lead line has to be played by the guitar player. Okay, it's really that simple. That's pretty much the 3-step process for being ready for my rehearsals. Is you go through the song references, the band rehearsal or singer rehearsal tracks, and then you end up with the mono click. After you've done that in your own time, that's when I schedule my full group rehearsals. Well, generally I'll do band rehearsals, and then I'll do singer rehearsals, and then I bring it together. So my boss, the production manager, will always create a rehearsal schedule. So he sends this to me first. Now, I mentioned that this show's already put in. This was our show that we started on March 1st. He sends me this schedule, and then I know that I've got to have my crew ready to not practice, but to run these sets starting with... Oh, wait, this is not what I'm talking about. Here's what I was looking for. Sorry. My boss, my production manager, sets up a schedule, and I know that by Monday, February 27th, I've got to be ready with my group to run the Prince set, the Elvis set, the Blues Brothers set. And then on Tuesday, we're running Adele, Reba, and then that's it. Wednesday, we're having a show. So that's my deadline, is Monday, February 27th, have everything ready. So from there, I'll usually backtrack. Generally, we would have a little bit more time. This run, we only had a week to put the show together, so that's why I actually have this rehearsal schedule right here that we made up to kind of just streamline the whole process. But generally, I will have one rehearsal with the band and one rehearsal with the singers per act, per quarter. So that means if there is 4 new acts coming in, I'm going to do 8 rehearsals before I do a full group rehearsal, and all that takes place before we come in here on this day and start running it. So by this point, the band's already together, and we basically can just run this for lights and blocking and costumes and stuff. And then when all that's done, the show's put together. It's really that simple. So the biggest parts of my job is really organizing and delegating these rehearsal materials, and then it's all about rehearsal schedules. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy getting to get more organized and more locked in on my process for being a musical director. And it's really rewarding to me. I hope that if any of you guys are musical directors for any of your events, you should check out using Google Drive, because it's really just the best way to keep everything organized in one place for your whole group. And it's gonna save your tail as a musical director, because you do the work one time and then it's just always there. If there's any questions, you can refer to the drive, and that's key stuff right there. But yep, that is it for today. Thank you for checking out my process on how I organize my files for my musical director job. Going to be doing more on the musical director series. Going to talk about how I run my rehearsals, and just some other cool things, cool tips and tricks for creating count-ins, creating playouts and stuff. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you back here soon.